Welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News. We just concluded the funk from major loser Jerome Powell, the Bitcoin price at 97,000 American dollars. I just want to remind all of you friends, you are here for the Juiciest News. During every year, we have what we call the summertime poop time. Every year, Americana and Europa, you guys basically start playing with your willies in summer. You go out and you enjoy the sun. So that time causes very painfully slow areas for markets. Okay, basically everyone's left their desk. There's not much volume and stuff out here. And if you're trading spreads, that used to be a dangerous time, because if someone needed to move something during a day session, you don't want to take the other side of it, because there's no back and forth. It's just like grind. It becomes very tough. So the summertime poop time during this, every year around June, July, and August, and then everything's ready for September, which we end up calling Rectember. It usually ends up getting pooped as well. So that's why we have the whole mantra of sell in May and go away. But I'm not going away, because this year we didn't even have a move up whatsoever. We didn't even have like a remote move up. In fact, you can kind of tell this is how markets move here. Everybody has been selling since literally Donald Pump. Look at OTHERS-btc. Others and OTHERS-btc, they've both literally been dumping straight only since Donald Pump. There's been a lack of buyers. So what actually happened is all the buyers came in, they bought aggressively, and now they're all getting wrecked. We're all getting wrecked, right? Because we're holding with them. So is it going to be different this time? You never know. But I'm not getting out. It didn't even remotely, we're not even anywhere near the target. To me, selling just not an option. Selling's not an option, friends. Just like murdering innocent people in a shopping center isn't an option. Yeah, no. Look, the way I see it as well, and I'm just a humble peanut brain. You were pathetically cheap when Trump won. You were still pathetically cheap. And now you've just given me 6 red months in a row, right? You should have already been all in on Trump. And now you've gone down. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm interpreting it, right? It's kind of like, it's like you're trying to sell your hot Toyota Corolla for 15,000 American dollars, and then some guy calls you up, you know what I mean? And they go, hey, I'll give you 10 grand for it. And you don't want to sell. But then a guy a week later says, I'll give you $2,000 for it. You know what I mean? And you turn over, and then, if you talk to your wife's boyfriend, and your wife's boyfriend says, oh, you should take the deal. And you're like, no, bro, I didn't want to take it for 10. I'm not going to take it for 2. Right? So that's the same attitude we have here. Now, markets don't actually care whether you take the deal or not. That's as Warren Buffett will famously say, Mr. Market will give you good deals and bad deals all the time. But that's why it's very controversial just to keep holding and holding and holding and holding and holding, as OTHERS-btc once again keeps getting crushed. But it is what it is, man. What can you do? Literally, what can you do? You're going to cheat now? We waited the whole time. I don't care that things cheap, friends. Things in markets, they stay cheap for a very long time. And the reason why it's cheap now is because Bitcoin dominance is going to get cucked with a vertical red line down. You just don't know when. Okay, so we're waiting for that moment. Now, looking at Ethereum price right here, it was saved on that monthly super trend. It's now back to green. Still a $1,800 Ethereum. I can't believe this is the price we're looking at. ETH-BTC is still shocking. Is this thing literally ever going to go up at any point? Man, you've had freaking, out of 11 candles, 10 have been red. I'm sure you've seen by now, Richard Hart has returned, friends. Richard Hart has made his video, uploaded it as well. New Richard Hart video, okay? So it's a fantastic video. He looks exactly like Arnold Schwarzenegger here, right? So there's a lot of points in here. If you want to watch as well, you can watch it and you watch some cool parts about it. Pulse chain community explodes as Richard Hart returns. I go through it as well. So basically I'll go through the whole video. There's some stuff you're missing there. I'll just throw some stuff in here. He implies he's got more Ethereum than Vitalik. Vitalik has 240,000 ETH. So how does he do? They says it in there. He goes, hey, Vitalik, I want the price to go up more than you. Trust me. You know what I mean? So you got to read between the lines. He also talks about how, and you like this, right? You like, if you're holding a coin and there's a founder and he's taken on such a big project like this, the fact that he says to Ethereum guys, I told yous Ethereum, I told you not to do the layer 2 stuff. You're literally giving away your margin to all these other people who are vultures and doing nothing, which is true. Friends, you know there are chains. For example, one of them is like Bearer Chain. There are chains, and this is not making this up. This is real. Okay, I posted about this, okay? They have their layer 1 roadmap, like their white paper thing, back in 2021. There are like, 4 or 5 chains, yeah? But then when Ethereum did the layer 2 stuff, they all pivoted to being a layer 2 of Ethereum. They were like, they had nothing to do with Ethereum at the start. They were just making their own chain. Then when Ethereum said, oh, we're going to do layer 2s, you can basically, take our margin from us. You can connect to it, take our consensus. You do cheap transactions, you settle on us, and then you can basically do the free stuff. So that's what Ethereum's whole thing was. Ethereum was saying, we'll do the decentralization part. You guys have the one sequencer, which is one server, fast transaction stuff. And Richard was saying, very risky, man. If that thing turns off, everybody on the chain loses their money. Super risky. Things blow up. Luckily, we never got there, right? And the market's been punishing him here for it. So that's pretty much like, just to give you an idea, a lot of the Ethereum layer 2s, they are vultures. A lot, not all, but a lot of them are. They didn't even want to be an Ethereum affiliated coin back in 2021. Then when Ethereum does the layer 2 stuff, they go, oh, cool, now we'll do it, right? So, and you can look at the ETH-BTC price. I guess that's the third cycle curse, right? The third cycle curse. So, that's why something about the third cycle curse, we don't know. Is it the third cycle curse? Is that causing you to be cucked? Or does the third cycle curse mean you will do a blunder yourself, like a blooper? Like, oopsies. That might be, friends, Binance, BNB is top tier, god tier token, BNB BTC ratio. You can see that. They're in the third cycle next cycle, right? So are they going to screw up somewhere, right? Is their new CEO, are they going to do something? Are they going to make a wrong pivot? Are they going to back the wrong, you know what I mean? That's pretty much where it all comes down to. And it is unpredictable. That's why we're just going to have to take it step by step. I have here the Chainlink ETH dominance chart as well. It's still curling up. It's got quite a while to go, man. It's still 85% below from the all-time high. That's Link ETH. You want to see real damage? Look at Link BTC. It's probably like down 95% like everything else. But at least it's curling up. And I wonder how long this cycle is going to go. I wonder if we're going to get some burst up. That'd be crazy. If we do some big cup, that'd be nice. Yeah. Basically, if this goes up, what does this mean? If this actually goes up here, that means get rid of your Chainlink back into Ethereum. That's what it would mean, okay? Now, you might say, oh, son, whatever goes up forever. And I'll say, look, listen to yourself, Habibi. You're talking about something in crypto going up forever. Who cares if it keeps going up? Like, we've just seen, look at the pain, the misery, and the despair we've had for the past 4 years, man. Like, at this point, now we're like, you should have this attitude. Like, I'm sure you've, like, acquired it now. Like, bro, I don't care if you do another 2 or 3x without me. I literally could not give one shit anymore. Like, what you've taken from me, my life and my soul, pretty much for the past 4 years, doesn't even make up for it. Let's check out the Bitcoin price on the 4-hour chart. This is a shorter time frame, friends, 97,000 American dollars. So I've got some squiggly line action here for you. Some of the breakout traders, it would be nice if Bitcoin goes up here and then around here, and then it basically can screw around in the summer before it continues up. That'd be nice. But you just don't know. You don't know. I want to remind you something as well. In 2017, because I remember this chart. In 2017, remember, it was the biggest crypto cycle of all time. And it was the biggest alt season ever. Altcoins all did a 100x. Everything did a 100 to 200. Literally everything, okay, from the start. But here's the thing, how it worked. In 2017, what happened was Bitcoin charged up a little bit, and then it starts going sideways. And in this sideways, right, for the first, I think, 3 months, in that period here, Ethereum and altcoins go nuts. They start running up huge. Then in the next 3 months, Bitcoin goes up another 3 months. And in here, that's when they all go parabolic. And that, friends, is the alt season. You have 3 months here and then 3 months here equals 6. Or some people say 6. And I'll show you that in the OTHERS-btc chart. So you can actually see this visually in the OTHERS-btc chart by looking at the color candles on the month right here. So you can go to 2017. See, it's right here. Look at that. See? January, February, March. And then you have April, June, and July right here. See these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Bitcoin was going sideways in these 3 months, and then Bitcoin actually went parabolic in these 3 months, and then they went like hyper parabolic. And that's what everybody's pretty much always been like waiting for, because that move, I know it doesn't look like much, but like that is a lot. That keeps people in the game forever, literally a long time. I mean, that's a move that we're like, you know, XRP did like a 50x or 100x in like a few months or something ridiculous. But yeah, look at this. We're not doing the green candle. We're doing the red candle, which is poopy time. So we'll see. Now let's check out the global liquidity, friends, with my friend Colin Talks Crypto. So the global liquidity is still rising. That's beautiful. Look at this. It's still cracking up, making new highs. With this, friends, like at this point, so we don't know how the next month's going to play, right? It can stall and then reset the cycle, or it can go for the jugular. It can. That's how I see it, okay? It's either going to stall or it's going to go for the jugular. If it stalls, we're getting the extended cycle, I think. Okay? Maybe. Maybe. We don't know, but maybe. If it goes for the jugular, then it is, I know I might think it's unlikely, but it is possible cycle's over by the end of the year. And how could that happen? Well, it could happen, friends, with, you know, starting from June or this month, you could have like 6 enormous green candles. You could do that. And if you doubt that, I just want to show you, look what it did here. From the absolute bottom, and by the way, this thing's still making new lows, this piece of shit. From the absolute bottom to the top, this thing ran up 426% in 5 months. 5 or 6 months. 426%. Now, this one was 2017. This is like a God run. I don't even know, like, if we should even, like, you know, look at this one because it's so enormous. My gosh. This did a 1,000% run. That's 11x on Bitcoin. You know, we want to know that's wild. Why that's wild, friends? Because Bitcoin from that period, I think, did a 3.5x. So literally every altcoin, the whole index went up 35x in 5-6 months. And it wasn't over. They kept going by the end of the year. That's wild. By the end of the year, done 100 or 200x. So let's just say we're going to get a repeat of this. Okay, we don't know. Actually, if we check this out, this had let me move this thing to see the wiki. Oh, wow, the wiki is actually starting from down here, friends. So there's been a bit of unexpected racism of this little fake out. Wow, so it's a 475% move from the bottom to the top. Now, I'm not saying this is the bottom, but let's say this was the bottom, and if it did repeat, where would 475% take us? Whoa! My gosh. Oh, wow, that'll take us, friends, exactly to the top of the box. If that happened, you just got to get everything out. Because I'm talking to you about it now. I go, oh, if we get a period of, it's literally all over, and in 6 green months, it's amazing again. And we're up here. I mean, look, friends, I've got 2 circles here. Why did I have 2 circles? Because I thought after Trump, we were going to go up here. Everyone thinks it's over. And then we have the final pop and it's done. That's repeating what we actually did last 2 cycles, right? But we haven't done that. Look what happened. We're meant to be up here in this circle. Look where we are, all the way down here. Do you know how bad that is, by the way? We are down based off expectations. My gosh, you're down 70% and Bitcoin's out. So you're literally... Man, you are 6 to, no, even higher. I think you're like 10 times poorer than you should be, or you're expecting. That's wild. So yes, we don't know, all right? We don't know. So look, it's funny. Like we're just drawing a scenario. It's fun to speculate. Let's get 1 green candle. You know what I mean? Like let's actually get 1 green candle. At least with these ones, you had like a big fat green monthly candle that started pumping, right? Up here, we've got literally nothing. So we'll see how this thing plays out. But yeah, I just want you to remember, right? So if we start to get like 3 green months in a row, okay, 3 green months in a row, and it actually is here, and then I'll be saying, hey man, okay, it's 50-50 still. But at this point, if we reset, okay, we're going into 2026 because this is still too cheap, okay? These ratios are still too cheap, okay? If we go up for glory, right, October, November, December, it's a standard 4-year cycle, you know? I think it was Sean, a few of you baby dolls in my Telegram, you guys very, very intelligent now, okay? Way more intelligent than I can ever be. You basically have used my content and said, Sommi, now that this is Sommi material, right? We're in a period where if we keep going, it feels like people will definitely say extended cycle this time. The 40 cycle's dead. Because we're already, we can make a case for it already. Okay? So we'll see. But ultimately, it comes down to euphoria. All right? And right now, there's a depression. Okay, now what I want to show you is, friends, you had the FOMC that came out. If you're curious for some friendship and kindness, what I normally do is, okay, you just type in USO2Y. That's it. So you just need one chart. You put it on a regular chart and you look at this. You go, oh, that's all you got to look at. Look at the daily chart and go, oh, it didn't move. Okay, nothing happened. Okay, literally nothing happened. So if this chart, if this O2L, this on any announcement, anything, Kippy, FOMC, urine, which is the unemployment rate, anything, right? President or whatever, all right? If the S&P 500, if you wake up and the S&P 500's down, right? And you're like, oh, I'm hearing a lot of news out there, you know, India and Pakistan, they're like fighting each other or whatever. They kept fighting each other. So I know you want to read the news, just forget the news. Okay, literally just go straight to this chart. Literally just go straight to this chart. This is the 2-year rate. If this chart goes down, it means they go, uh-oh, we're going to need some cuts. Yeah? If this chart goes up, they go, uh-oh, we're going to tighten. All right? If this chart's doing nothing, go back to sleep. Okay? So if you notice, on this daily chart, nothing moved. All right? Literally nothing moved. We're still at around 3.8%. So you can see down here, look what happened. When Trump's tariffs came, right, that's what the market was saying. They go, oh, crap, we're going to need a few cuts coming. See, this is the yield on the right-hand side, 3.5%. They go, whoa, we're going to need a few cuts. And then look what ends up happening. Oh, wait, we don't need the cuts anymore. You can leave the rates the same. And that's basically a cheat code. And I'm not even joking, okay? You don't even look at S&P 500 or anything else out here. Because there are days, friends, the S&P 500 goes down and you're like, oh, the market's down. But then like, no. It's just, see, it's funny. The market can know like, oh, it's safe for retracement zones, okay? And if it is, the rates aren't moving. Now, remember, I have my macro stock market chart here, friends. I'm wondering if we are in an AI bubble, which is like the tech bubble. Now, we're not in the bubble part yet. I don't think so. AI, it's still blowing our minds, you know? The pictures, the cartoons, like, but it's just like, just imagine, man, when like someone's gonna make like a robot, like maybe Elon makes one, like $100,000 robot. Maybe they start $200,000, the first ones, you know what I mean? And then it just goes down, like, kind of like, and then everyone like, it's like the iPhone, you know, where it just gets cheaper over time, and like the robot does stuff for you, you know, like whatever it is, wash dishes, do stuff around. I think they already have it in Japan. Okay, personally, I'm looking forward to a robot to wipe me boom, you know, pour glasses of drink for you, you know, just do stuff for you. So we haven't even seen that yet, you know what I mean? Right now, it's just, you put boobies on Sommi, and we posted it on Twitter, which is always funny, you know what I mean? But like, okay, we want to go beyond the boobies, you know, so we're not in that part yet. We're in the, like, it feels like we're in the midst of, hey, the internet really is changing the world. We're in this part. You know, that's what we are for AI. We're like, wow, AI really is changing the world. Yes, AI, ass intelligence, really is changing the world. Yeah, but we haven't gotten to this part where they're like, whoa, every company has now renamed to AI to get a boost in the stock market. That would be the bubble part, and we're not there yet. Now, the Pulse chain charts can be displayed here, friends. This is Pulse coin list, by the way, Pulse coin list. And if you go to the front page, I'll show you now a very family-friendly way. I love Pulse coin list because now, friends, I like all the pages. Okay, everyone's cool. It's just the reason why some people have asked me, why don't you use Go Pulse anymore? I do use it. I like looking at the little buy and burn. Oh wow, it ticked up 7.09%. The thing is though, Go Pulse, they are like Richard Hart Twitter loyalists. They are Old Testament. You know what I mean? They're like the Orthodox Jews, like really, really, really strict, like old, like no, never change. So they don't believe EHEX is a coin. Okay, so they believe EHEX are like subhuman filth, savages. That's what they believe EHEX is. So if you notice here, there's no EHEX. If you notice, it's a tiny little gray text, and they go, including EHEX. That's what they do, which is okay. But like when I was posting the picture, I would have to put in manually, right, the erection hex. Pulse coined this though. They're more open-minded. Okay, they believe EHEX is a token that exists. All right, so they do believe EHEX is a beating heart and it has a believers. Right. So that's what I like as well. If you want to go to the page that I always look at, you click on stats, friends. You just click on this stats page. And if you click on stats, it should bring you to, oh, here we go, Pulse Chain stats. So you just look at this. That brings you to this famous page. Everyone loves looking at this page now. But then you have Richard Hart memes with most, Trump and Pump. Ricky's a secret coin. Ricky should be here as well. So most, Trump and Pump. You have these friends, they're all just going to move with Pulse, okay? So you're always looking at Pulse anyway, all right? And then you can derive everything else. Or you can activate Sommi Mode. Dun, dun, dun. It all started because of Sommi Mode. Sommi Mode is here because I just wanted to see secret core coins over here. Now, Dick with Butt is there because Richard posted it, all right? So that's what it is. It's kind of fun. Just for new people, they don't know, hey, why is it there? Why can't we put all the other meme coins and all the other pictures out here? No, this is... There was this, you gotta remember, friends, this is before Richard Hart's FUD. And by the way, he does own more than 30% of the purple Bitcoin supply. All right? Just saying. That's why I always thought, if he owns more than 30% of the purple Bitcoin supply, he probably owns more than 30% of the PDI supply. But yes, ultimately, friends, all these fan fiction theories and everything, it all comes down to the pulse price. This is PLS on the weekly. By the way, this is a very bullish pattern. The amount of times, friends, if you're in crypto, if you ever see this pattern where it goes up, all right, it does the one red weekly candle, and then the next candle is a green one that goes up like that, it's about to pump, all right? Remember, I don't do this TA pattern here. I'm just telling you, it's a very common thing in crypto. Very common when you see it right before a pump. All right? You're seeing it right now. Look at this. So it goes up, one red. Oh, it's dead. The next red. Oh! Like, yes, it's pretty much a cheat candle. It really is a cheat candle right before. See, friends, look at this. It's right here. I actually did it here. It's kind of funny. Literally right here. Whenever you see the candle go, whoa! That's it's about to have a nice move. It's kind of funny. It doesn't happen all the time. But yeah, this is just something to look out for. And don't go on lower time frames and stuff out here. Remember, I'm always on the monthly. Here's the monthly chart. Last month we did 100%. I hope this month we also finish up 100%. Hopefully we somehow just grind it up. That's still 50% of sack price, man. So we've got some stuff to happen. In Richard Hart's video, like he gave a bit of hope here. He says, you know, we could have a God candle any day now. It's kind of funny. Hope we do. And the God candle refers to the day where Hex had like this 24-hour period where the price just doubled and it never came back. That was actually as it was escaping the zone. So that'd be great to see. Let's go through some news. So major loser Jerome Powell leaves US rates unchanged. So remember, fans, after all these, what did I do for you? Okay, because I am the highest value content in crypto, right? That's why you watch me. Okay, you watch the highest value content in crypto. I don't even like that news and their words. You know, we kind of like try to develop the qualitative stuff out here, but it's all bullocks. Okay, I showed you the US 2-year rate. Okay, I don't even, friends, the news and stuff, I don't give a crap. Show me the charts. What is the market pricing? Because they're bets on the future. You know, so it's kind of like, friends, if you don't know anything about a soccer team, yeah, and someone comes out and they go, oh, this guy's checking into rehab. Whoa. Like there might be, oh, this soccer player, right? He's been playing with his Game Boy too much. He's checking into rehab, Game Boy rehab, right? So a real investor or participant, right? You don't even read the article. Yeah, just go look at the odds, okay? Did the odds of next week's max change, right? Or if you're reading, let's say you do read the article and they go, the key star player of the Pokemon Football Club, one of the best players in the world, right? Very pivotal to the team. He's in Game Boy rehab. Okay, go check the odds. If the odds haven't changed, you're like, he's useless. All right, but if the odds changed a lot, you're like, whoa, this is big, right? I don't know if you've ever seen that. Sometimes players, you know, they'll like release lists before. They're like, oh, they're on the bench. and then they maybe change it last minute. They go, he's actually, maybe his Achilles heel maybe needs another week, or maybe needs one more week. We'll just keep him for a week. And I've just seen like odds just smash literally after that point. You see, so because people vote with their wallets, friend. That's actually the most critical thing you have to learn all of these. So everyone puts their money where their mouth is. That's why when you look at the US O2Y, the US 2-year yield rate, you get the best picture as well. Another thing you can do if you want to just get cute with the fractions, you can type this in, right? This is the equation, okay? So US O2Y minus the Fed funds rate. You can actually just copy paste that in. That gives you this. And what that tells you in the difference of rate moves. You see how this is negative 0.5? That means going forward, see I've written it here, rate expectations for next 2 years. So they're expecting 2 rate cuts moving forward. So major loser, always late, Jerome Powell. That's what the market's expecting right now. That's why if there's like, let's say the stock market just poops the bed next month, just literally poops the bed, you might find this thing, right, goes like, you know what, crap, we're going to need another rate cut. Now it's at 0.5. And if markets keep tanking, they're like, oh crap, we need 4 rate cuts. We're at minus 1.0, So that's how you get to see these things in real time. And that's why everybody's reading the news, friends. Trust me. You don't have any itch when it comes to this. You're just reading the news. La 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 la. Oh wow, there's some dopamine for me. Look at this picture of this this guy in a bull hat. Moo. Okay, so the market's always priced on that start fin. You can use it for your informational advantage. So I've got some notes here from major loser Jerome Powell. So he said the Federal Reserve has said the risks of higher unemployment and higher inflation have risen. They say that every month, bro. Major loser says inflation has come down a great deal. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Major loser also says if the tariffs are not reduced, it can lead to a rise in inflation, a slowdown in economic growth, and an increase in the urinary unemployment rate. Bro, they never say anything, friends. They're just useless comments, bro. Useless. Major loser says we won't make progress on goals this year if the tariffs stay. As major loser Jerome Powell also says the US economy is resilient and doing fairly well. Nothing. Basically said nothing. As you can see, friends, you don't even need to look at the comments. Boring comments, just look at the rates. Nothing moved. Screw everything he says. He could have even made it exciting, but no one cares. President Trump to rescind, that's right, rescind global chip export restrictions. So we're seeing this negotiation, make quite the deal happen in real time. All this uncertainty. It was kind of funny, friends. Like, how come me wearing a bull hat? Moo. How come I was going, you know what, man? I don't think Trump is going to put us in a recession, bro. I just don't think so. And I was watching all the stock market podcasts. They're like, Johnson & Johnson, baby bomb power, the fundamentals, the valuations. Did you see the price to earnings? All of them were just losing their minds. And they're like, oh, Trump wants China to go kiss the ring. China, don't play like that. But I'm not exaggerating. Go listen to them. That's how they all talk. All of them. I was like, bro, how are you guys falling for it, man? But then we do the same thing in crypto. Outside stock people. But it's actually like a lot of outside stock people that come in. They're like, hey, what are you guys doing? Like, oh, this protocol is going bad. There's a hack. They're like, oh, can they fix it? And you reply, yeah, but it's really painful. They're like, okay, see you in a year. You know what I mean? That's their mindset because they're not in the game. So when you're in the game, it's tough because you're learning the alpha, but the noise, so the signal part, you're absorbing it in your brain, okay? The tough part is you're also getting the noise part. And the noise is louder. There's higher amounts of it. There's 99% noise. Not just people yelling physical noise, but just everyone's opinions. When you hear everyone's opinions, you get the perfect distribution of every bull and bear. Yeah, that's why it's tough. If you just watch everyone, you just get the perfect distribution. Literally. Oh, there's 50 bullish, 50 bearish. Right? So you don't get any alpha information there. That's why it helps to have a system. Well, what's my system? Play the whole cycle and shut up. That's it. Play the whole cycle. That's my system. And everyone's got criticisms on the system. Like if you're a short-term trader, you underperform holding. You're a dopamine junkie. You are trying to click and trade every time. You only show screenshots of your wins, but you've actually been losing. You're probably following a trader in a Telegram or a Discord. You're probably paying for a subscription. You're too embarrassed to realize that you've been blowing your past 6 months. You actually haven't made shit. See what I mean? Everyone's got a vice there, right? But then they look at long term and they're like, oh, you're here to play the whole cycle, bro. It's been going down for 4 years. You see what I mean? They're like, oh, they'll say, oh, you're always too bullish. You're always too bullish. See, everyone's got a criticism for everything out here. So you can't listen to critics and there's voices, okay? Because everyone's got that cognitive bias, right? Their brain has to justify what they're doing, okay? That's why you expect to hear that. That's why a lot of people are like, they will like be so shocked at just my strength to like literally completely just disregard what a million people would say to me. I could not care less, bro. I go, you are the crowd. You know, oh yeah, one of your opinions is right, but guess what? I listened to that one guy's opinion, which I've done, friends. I've done years and years ago. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna track that guy's opinion. Oh, you were right this time. Next time, you got it totally wrong. Right? Happened every time. And the guys who were the best, the frequency of their calls were very, very low. Okay, it was more like once or twice a year, almost like what I do with ratio trading, the big ones. Okay, so they very, very low frequency, and even if you're right, it can still swing another 50% down. So you can't even do a 2x leverage long on it or short. You know what I mean? So it's not what you think, friends. You need to really focus on your edge. That's what we do here. We're refining our edge. Hey, are we still on track? Where are we in the cycle? Okay, there's no euphoria. Sweet, I do nothing. Treasury Secretary Besant says digital ass are an important source of innovation that will drive usage of the US dollar. Thank you very much. I think he says it here.
Yes, sir. We believe that the United States should be the premier destination for digital assets, and as members of this committee and the Senate are attempting to do, create good market structure around that.
That's it. He said market structure. Didn't expect that one, actually. Caught me a bit off guard. Structure? Now, where are we going next? Wouldn't you like to know? I've been tweaking my nipples. Yes, I'm lighting the Saints candle. I'm literally doing every single freaking ritual we can find to get us to stop going down after 4 years. I have Squiggly Line Friendship from Blockchain Backer as well. Just to let you know, friends, I watch all these people. Everyone's 50-50. You know what I mean? Everyone's 50-50. Just so you know. But we like looking at it. We're like, oh. You know what I mean? It's kind of like flip. Like if I'm going to flip a coin, you know it's 50-50, but you want to punt anyway. Right? I'm going to flip a coin, heads or tails. You're not going to say, excuse me, sir. I have seen all the possible outcomes. I know it's a 50% chance of a head and a 50% chance of a tail. Therefore, my friend, I will not be participating in this game that you have so kindly asked. You don't say that. You just say, shh, whatever, screw it. Let's go tails this time. You know what I mean? That's what you say. That's what we're looking at here. He has a fractal of the whole Bitcoin move to go up here. One possible scenario is we just go side. Bro, this would kill us. Are you serious, man? If we literally just go sideways. Are you serious? Until Julie? My gosh. Come on, bro. But, you know what? I'm not even going to say it. I'm saying maybe alts go up. Maybe Ethereum goes up. I know no one's expecting that. But friends, it can happen, man. I know it's wild, but like Ethereum can just start moving up by itself. It's down so far low, it has to mean revert to its fair value. It can just mean revert there by itself. Now, what's its fair value? I don't know. You know, it's at $1,800. Is fair value 2,000? Because that's trash. Yeah, we don't know. This is another possible structure thing you can do. I showed you earlier this. If we could just pop up and then we just go sideways for the summer, which would repeat this part. But then actually has that it's all over at the end. I don't know, man. Maybe Bitcoin goes to 130. Everyone thinks it's all over. And then by the end of the year, it busts to 250. And it really is over then. Okay. And everybody calls for extended cycle. It might work like that. But that might mean we don't get double bubble alt season. Kind of means we just get one big fat one. But kind of, so I'm going to show you something. Okay. It's family friendly, but just be careful. If you look at OTHERS-btc, all right, there were if you look this up, okay, look where this is, friends. OTHERS-btc was still high in May 2018. Can you believe that? But the bear market started January 2018. Okay, January 2018, altcoins went ballistic. Verge did 1000x. Ethereum hit 1,400, and literally bear market started. But look at this. So why? How did this happen? Well, what happened is at the end of the cycle, this is obviously I did a lot of deep philosophical thinking whilst drinking orange juice and eating strawberries and some olives as well with the cheese stuffed inside. I like them a lot, friends. No seeds, please, no seeds. By the way, be careful, friends. One of my oil tubs, the little olive tubs, okay? You wouldn't believe it. Yeah, they're meant to be seedless. They're stuffed with cheese. Guess who bit into a seed? Almost cracked my tooth. Yeah, it took me by shock. But I think we're crashing. I mean, this happened to me last week. And it was one of the down moments. I was like, you know what? I don't care at this point. That's how I knew, you know what? This market's really taking a toll on my mental health. Can't take me down forever, though. So what I actually found out was, I always wondered, why does OTHERS-btc stay high when the altcoins are down like 90% by that point? Let me show you. Here's Cardanzo, a good example. So Cardanzo peaks January 1st, 2018. And then look, by March, remember I told you by April, May, it was, it's down 82%. Why did that happen? How is this thing freaking down, 80% immediately in just a few months? And how's that OTHERS-btc making a new high? Well, what happens is at the end of the cycle, so many coins just launch expensive. Yeah, they don't do the journey. So that's like a marker that it's over. You want to know what's funny? It actually happened in 2021 as well. Look at this. January 2022, OTHERS-btc was still making a new high. Why was that? NFTs were going up and a lot of coins coming out. What happens is they just appear in the top 100 with bloated valuations. Yeah, because everybody does expensive ICO raising. Yeah. So these things never really, they didn't trade from $0 to 10 cents to $5. They never went there. They just launch at like $3.50 because they have so many people in round putting in the ICOs and they launch, they appear in the top 200 or whatever, and that they're added to the index. That's exactly what seems to have happened with EOS and everything out here 2018, What we might actually do is I might actually go historical snapshot so we can just quickly have a look. So what you can do is type in coinmarketcap/historical. And what I'm going to do in a very family-friendly way, I'm going to go to the first week of January 2022. So we can see, all right, what coins up here have just appeared that might be like boosting the index. Now, what I've actually noticed, friends, by having a look here, like you got stuff like Flow and things out here. What makes it hard to do this is I don't know which coins are low float. Okay, low float as in they've only got like 5% of the coins out, 95% are locked up. Okay, that's what is hard to pretty much measure from these. But there are a lot of those coins out here, low float. They were low float here, low inflation, like helium at the time. All right, but you don't need to know those individual coins. That's why it's possible, for example, where we have a big alt season. All right, but if we get like 6 green months in a row, but then we don't just like drop down where we do this, where it like rounds off and it's still like a high next year, like April. And everyone's wondering like, why are altcoins still sinking? So that could happen, right? But we don't know. But I'm just showing you that might be a marker that it's all over. It actually happens here. It's this final rise up to the top where it goes up, comes up, and like this is the double bubble alt season stuff that usually happens, but there's no guarantees. So even after seeing that, I do think about other random coins like Market Pui, where Pui is doing this exact chart like Sia coin, where it might charge to its highest fib. And these are like telltale signs of an absolute blow-off euphoria. So can just one coin go euphoric and nothing else doesn't? We'll see. It hasn't got there or anything yet, but you have to monitor things like that. So I guess it's all going to come down to the next few months, but I'm not nervous or anything because we're just so far down. Like there's nothing to be nervous about. You got nothing to lose. That's why bull markets, you climb the wall of worry because you think you're going to lose all your gains back to zero. There's nothing to lose now. Literally, you got your back against the wall. But at least we got our friendship. Like, subscribe, catch you soon.